Yo, today's episode we're going to be showing you a planar direct view LED wall that we sold. It's a 1.2 millimeter pixel pitch. I mean, this thing's, it's 4K. It's a 16:9 aspect ratio. The wall is 16 feet by 9 feet tall. It came out perfect. It looks amazing. It's for this customer, Marantha Volunteers. They're using it for like a live broadcast show. So we're going to show you their use case. We're going to show you start to finish how we put it in. Let's go check it out.
Man, this is clean. Look at this.
This is IMAX, right?
This is IMAX.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do is today is we cut that ceiling tile, put a piece of strut, maybe one big 4-inch tube coming up. All of ours come out, and then I'll have that fiber come down our own tube. So all of our stuff will be separate. So we're just gonna be going up. I'm probably gonna go up, climb up here today, go across. We're gonna put it, in like a black sock. Yeah, I want to try to hide it this way so you don't see a big blue bundle.
That's true.
Coming that way to this way, right? That drawing, you know that drawing I was showing you? You have 8 columns, and each column has 3 cables, so it's like cable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So each bundle of 3 has to be like almost by itself for each row. You know what I mean? To be separated. Because then at the top, I'm gonna cut a hole, fish it down per bay. Now I was just gonna get a piece of strut, put it up there, get like a 4-inch pipe, cut out that ceiling tile, and have it come down to here. It's gonna go into here.
I like it. Baller.
Got the hilt again. We had to attach the J-hooks to the concrete ceiling up there. So we had to use these pre-made Cat 6 cables shipped from the manufacturer to certify, and I think it's part of their warranty deal. It's to make sure that everything from start to finish is all per the manufacturer, and then you don't have to worry about troubleshooting and what brand wire you use and whatnot. So that's why you have these pre-made bundles of Cat 6, which is hard to work with when you're not using like wire on a spool, but because then you get all this excess that's coiled up. It's a little finicky to work with, but that's what we're doing right here in the scene. As you can see, it gets a little crazy when you get near the end there. The wire just coils up. So we had eight rows, 8 runs of 3. That's that 4-inch pipe I was talking about. That's like where all of our communications transitions from the ceiling down into the rack. But this job was dope, man. Like, I'm glad everything worked out. And the building was like pretty much empty while we were working there, so we didn't have to worry about working around nobody. Sometimes you get to a site, you know, and it's like just jam-packed with people. It's hard to work around everybody. So this wall right here is before we cut the sheetrock off, put the plywood in on this first strip, but later on we're going to show you how we cut that open, fish the wires down. You also see it on that time lapse. So now we have all the wire pulled, and I'll pull on the fiber HDMI and the fiber optic cable, and we're getting ready to cut the holes through, fish the wires down the wall, and we're going to cover all that exposed blue wire in like an 1.25 inch cable sock, so it looks like one solid black run. Looks really clean when it's done. This is a spare fiber optic cable with an HDMI that we ran. One at a time, we got all these pre-made cables. Too long, we gotta hide the excess up there. We cover this in this little cable socket, and then this is where it's gonna go. We tried pulling 3 at once, but it's too hard. So we're gonna get this first row out, then we're gonna pull 1 at a time, up and out. We are cleaning up the last fiber. We have this fiber optic cable in here. We have a fiber optic HDMI in here. And I'm just trying to clean up that last excess of the wire. Then we'll be done in this network room. And then we'll just finish up some of the wiring out there.
Oh wow, that looks clean.
Here's the fiber HDMI. And I got my 8 pairs.
Beautiful.
But no more mess. So we're gonna.
Looks good though.
Getting that delivery. Look at that. This guy was like, "What are you guys recording me for?" Over the weekend, was it over the week? Sometime last week, we Swiss cheesed the wall. We fished all the data down the wall. Yeah, you'll see it on the time lapse. We cut the shear arc out on another day that's not recorded on here. It's on the time lapse. Put the plywood in, painted the plywood, and then we had to cut these 3-inch holes everywhere you see one of those wires in that black gaffer tape covering up that hole. And we had to fish all the wires down the wall with a string, so when we come back later on today, we're about to do it on this scene, is fish the power cords up to the top. But as you can see, there's no more blue up there on the top. All the wires are now wrapped. There's only blue exposed behind the wall. We got pull strings up for the power. We now have 8 20-amp dedicated circuits up there. We wire loomed all 24 data cables. As you can see now, all the blue is gone. We did a blue delete. Then we pre-labeled all these. Then we tested every one of these. This one isn't pre-made. It had a little piece of plastic stuck on the pre-made tip. We took it off and it passed, but we'll find out tomorrow if it's all good. If not, we'd have to rerun this, which would be a pain. We have to do the whole thing, come all the way over and fish down the wall before the wall's done. So today, we're gonna put this tape back up. I'm gonna put the controllers in the wall, in the rack. Put the controllers in the rack. I'm gonna remeasure the wall, find the center, put a blue piece of tape, put my laser, and then put a marker there. So when we come tomorrow, we're gonna start with this cabinet right here. We're gonna go left then right. And once we have that first row completely done, then we'll stack up every column. I'm gonna go grab my tools. I'm gonna pop this one open, see if the controllers are in here, because that's what I want to put in. Find the controllers, find the power cords, fish the power cords today, if they're here, and then put that. He's finishing the last power outlet for the controllers in the wall. So let me go grab my bag of tools, my bag of tricks. Triple me, just going at it, just working like, I do the work of like 3 guys sometimes, so that's why you see me moving so quick up there on that wall. Finishing the last final touches here. Mounting that first cabinet. You gotta get that thing completely leveled out and zeroed out. You mount this first row, and then the second row, that blue wire comes into the top, and then it's gonna feed through this to the bottom one. Time lapse, trying to get that first row. We just finished installing the first row, which is the hardest part, to get it perfectly level with the laser and the digital level. And now we're adding the second row, but we ran into a little issue. We had to take it off. One of the plates didn't align, so now we just fixed that. Now we're going to add the mounting plates to the back of these for support, and then make sure that this Z-axis is the same plane as the bottom one. So since we did that bottom row first, everything should go up easier, but we could have different depths of the plywood up here, even deeper, so we'll see how it goes as we go up, but I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, and if the plywood was bad, we would have been in trouble because we're the ones who put it in. So we took our time on that, made sure it was as good as we could get it, but we have these Z adjustment brackets that are on that mount that allows us to compensate for that, because you can never get a perfect wall on these, you know, like with plywood. So that's the LED module right there that we're going to put onto the cabinets here. And that's the part that's delicate that you can break. You can chip those things pretty easily. Put on those last modules, last couple rows before we get to do the configuration. A couple of minor adjustments to get some of these modules to stick. Not to stick, but just like sit on there right so they don't overlap, and get rid of that seam. Final one. Now we're getting ready to put this trim kit on. Trim kit just hides like the cabinet edges, everything below and on the sides, and it actually comes just to the edge of the LED modules themselves to prevent anybody from like grabbing the side of it and chipping one of those modules. But that wall came out like one of the best walls we've ever done. It was like you could run your hand across that whole thing and barely feel like one seam. It was pretty good.
Man, this is clean. Look at this. I mean, look at this. It doesn't look bad. Let me just say that. It looks seamless.
This is IMAX, right?
This is IMAX.
This is better than IMAX. IMAX is a projector. This is LED. This is part. This is like having a real TV screen. You know, a lot of theaters are moving to this now too.
This is kind of crazy that this is in our
1080.
office.
So this is what 1080 looks.
I mean, 1080 looks amazing
It
on
looks
here.
good.
seriously.
And
Like,
I
I'm getting like
see
vertigo.
stuff that, seriously, I see stuff that I didn't see before because like little details. I'm like, oh, that guy jumping off the truck. I didn't see that before. Goodness.
Yo, what do you guys think about that wall? Let us know in the comments below. That thing came out perfect, man. We're loving it. The customer's loving it. See you guys on the next one. Later.